I do have a dream. And I know you have a dream. And somehow I feel we share the same dream. That is to make our country fulfill its dream.
That and other reasons has led Prime Minister Andrew Holness to ensure that he carves out time for the diaspora during his overseas assignments. His recent working visits to Europe and North America were no different. Highlights of those interactions are next. Prime Minister Andrew Holness was in Belgium in April, holding talks with the European Council and chairing a special session of the African, Caribbean and Pacific ACP Committee of Ambassadors. While there, he engaged members of the diaspora living in Belgium, France, Luxembourg, the Netherlands and Spain. After brief pleasantries, it was down to business. Mr. Holness fielded questions relating to the protection of brand Jamaica, civil rights, regional integration, partnerships for development, and the diaspora being able to vote in Jamaica's general elections.
At present, I think you have a government that has a willing disposition towards it. We will have to work through the modalities and the practicalities and consult. And as I said, it's not a universally held position. But I think that in time, it will be very clear as to what is possible in this regard.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness made a stop in London, England for the 2018 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in April. He used his attendance at the two-day summit to meet with the Jamaican diaspora in that country.
From the perspective of Jamaica, regardless of how long you have left and how many generations removed you are, or whether or not you have not claimed your citizenship because you were born elsewhere, as far as we are concerned, you are Jamaican.
In addition to addressing their concerns about the Windrush incident and other issues affecting them in England, Mr. Holness responded to questions about life in Jamaica.
Will Jamaica be, and CARICOM, the first country or region to sign a free trade agreement with Britain when Brexit happens on the 30th of March 2019?
Already there are negotiations in place. There is a negotiating machinery called CARIFORUM that has been negotiating with the European Union. That same grouping will continue to negotiate with the UK after Brexit. And I believe that they are very close to some form of agreement.
Are there any particular sectors that you would like UK investors to focus on in Jamaica?
Sure. Infrastructure is one. Tourism is another. Business process outsourcing is another. Agriculture is another. There are tons of areas in which there are great opportunities for Jamaicans living in the UK to invest in Jamaica.
Why has there been a low response or talk about reparations?
We need to have one position as to how we approach reparation. There are differing positions, and we also need support from our African diaspora about reparations. You see what I'm saying? Spend the time, develop the issue, build the alliances, and then we go with a powerful front.
When it comes to the exchange rate of the Jamaican dollar, what are your plans?
The policy of the Jamaican government is to have a flexible exchange rate. Sometimes it go up, sometimes it go down. There is no fake economics to make the dollar strong. For the dollar to be strong, you have to produce more bauxite, you have to sell more rooms to tourists, you have to produce more music and sell it, you have to produce more banana, yam, and let us start producing some computers and technology and sell it too.
The children of the Windrush era, what are you doing to help them to do something that can contribute to the Jamaican economy?
we are planning the development of a program that will seek to take people, young people from our diaspora who want to contribute for a year or two and bring them back to Jamaica to help to contribute to build Jamaica.
I'm dreaming of a new Jamaica.
My dream for Jamaica is a place where people can choose to live, work, do business, raise their families, retire in paradise.
That vision was shared with the Canadian diaspora at the Praise Cathedral Worship Centre in Mississauga, Ontario. It happened ahead of the Prime Minister's historic participation in the outreach session of the G7 Summit held recently in Charlevoix, Canada. After informing the gathering how he intended to achieve the dream, Mr. Holness fielded questions from the diaspora.
There is a gap that when you get close to 60, it's saying that you cannot purchase a home because the banking system has locked us out of the system.
Recently, we have taken on a new policy position, which is to develop what we call an intergenerational mortgage and to extend to 60 years through the National Housing Trust. So I would say that within a few months' time, there will be a more definitive position.
Can we get the national identity through the consulates, through the embassy here?
There is a provision in the bill.
Yes, so we can get it?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
the bill is devised that way, so members of the diaspora will be able to get their own.
What is your administration doing differently to restore the citizens' trust in the police force, as well as to significantly reduce the murder rates?
We have developed what we call Plan Secure Jamaica. So we are doing the things necessary to secure our border. We are doing the things necessary to improve the integrity of law enforcement, which is very important, as you say, to restore the trust of the citizens and the police.
I was most excited about the 2030 vision. Are we still on track?
I would say that we still have a good chance of achieving the development status that we had projected by 2030, but we will have to put in greater effort.
You mentioned the rehabilitation of the roadway from Harborview to Port Antonio. So my question is, what is the timeline for the completion of that project? And what is the status of the other development projects to bring economic development to that side of the country?
We are almost complete with the paperwork. Once that is done, you could look at the start of the road early next year. And same thing for the Morant Bay project at Goodyear. That 2019, you could see those projects begin.
Does the government feel it's doing enough to tackle scamming in Jamaica?
You may have followed the media to see that we have fulfilled extradition requests from the United States for 8 of the top scammers in Jamaica. And we continue to work with our partners in the United States and indeed here in Canada to ensure that we are uprooting, degrading, and finally dismantling the scamming networks. And I believe we are making significant progress in that area. I thoroughly enjoyed the family discussion. I hope that you have a better understanding of the direction of the country and what it is that we are trying to do. And I hope that I have enlisted you as ambassadors for the economic development of our country. God bless you, I love you, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.